It's weird.
But let's get on to something really good, which I can't wait for. There's a new Godzilla movie by Toho. What the fuck?
Oh yeah,
This came out of absolutely nowhere. Literally,
I've not heard that.
I've known it was coming for a while, but I'm
I don't know the name of it. Godzilla -1. This is
So I've been reporting on Toho's rights deal with Godzilla for a while, right? And I remember reporting a while back saying that they're well because loads of people were like, oh, MonsterVerse needs to stop making movies so Toho can make them again. Toho, they're not dumb. Toho was incredibly smart about this.
Yeah.
They made Legendary buy the rights to Godzilla with a caveat that they can still make movies right?
Every other year.
Yeah, basically. And so what they've done is they've allowed Legendary to foot the bill for mass marketing in the Western world, because that's what's happened. They've made Godzilla a name brand in the Western world, because it is now. And then they've gone, we're gonna make our own, and it's gonna absolutely clean up, because it is. This looks epic. Look at this. Super, super cool. Now, who's clicking?
I prefer Godzilla over Kong. Out of all the monsters, Godzilla is my number one.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not American.
I agree.
Nah, Godzilla's
You're not American, sir.
I have since I was a kid. I just
I'm kidding.
His back lighting up and then shooting the fire/electricity, blue flame that he shoots out of. I've always liked.
Zilla's cool, but I've always just had a soft spot for Kong.
I like Kong. Don't get me wrong.
To me, it's Kong is the OG, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And he's also all American, right?
Yes.
The two things that he's got going for him. That's just my personal opinion.
Anyway, point is, they've been really smart about this. Yes, Godzilla, people knew what Godzilla was, but this is nowhere near as mainstream as it has been. So yeah, there's some people in the chat going, "Oh, it was already a well-known brand." Yeah, nothing like it is now. Come behave. How can you say that with a straight face? Yes, people knew it, but nowhere near as mainstream as it is now. Nowhere near as mainstream as it is now. And so what Toho's done is incredibly smart. It's the first Japanese-produced Godzilla since Shin Godzilla. So debuts in Japan November 3rd, and then we'll have a theatrical release in the US.
They have to release it by this year. Yeah.
So
next year is when Godzilla vs. Kong 2 comes out, right?
Yeah.
That's the only stipulation is they can't release them in the same year as a US Godzilla film.
Well, here's the sort of plot synopsis, I guess. Set in a post-war Japan, Godzilla -1 will once again show us a Godzilla that is terrifying and an overwhelming force, which you already get a sense of from the teaser trailer and poster. And that is President of Toho International saying in a statement, the concept is that Japan, which had already been devastated by the war, faces a new threat with Godzilla bringing the country into the minus. Now, I can't show the trailer because Toho are notoriously brutal with copyright claims. But what we will do is have a look at a little bit. Now, what I really like about this is that Toho's, I love the fact that they're so smart. I know about this, but I really like the fact that they're bringing it back to war.
Yeah. 27 seconds. That's your freeze frame, Nate. 27 seconds is the one.
We'll get there. But they're bringing it back to war because that's what it was. It was supposed to be.
I'm kind of disappointed we're not getting a sequel to Shin Godzilla, but I'm fine with this too.
Yeah,
I agree. But doesn't all of this look good? Even this, it's sure it's a still and all that, but fucking hell, it does look good.
It does look good. Yeah,
I like it looks old. It looks like vintage footage.
Mm-hmm.
They've really nailed it. Like that, it looks so good.
Which I think is a neat approach too.
Yeah. Well, let's try and freeze frame a little bit.
I just watched it. It looks good,
doesn't it? Look at this.
Yeah, he's
dead.
Huge. He's
immediately.
massive.
They're all dead.
I'm surprised how beefy they made him look, though, because wasn't that one of their bigger complaints? Was that
look at that
American Godzilla was too fat?
Yeah.
The one in the 90s.
Yeah.
No.
But
In the recent movies,
the recent
Nick,
ones.
Oh yeah, that's right. The recent one.
they actually slimmed him down a little bit. I think for Godzilla
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
Kong, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because the Toho guys were complaining, American Godzilla too fat.
Yeah.
But look at the
Too many cheeseburgers.
look at the color grading. It's beautifully done. Like
Yeah, it looks good.
From a technical perspective, this is incredible.
Yeah. It's
Like,
neat
it really
Well,
is.
I'm sure, like with Shin, they made sure they spent the time on the few effects shots they do have instead of trying to cram it with wall-to-wall effects shots like they do here in the U.S. Because I mean, I remember somebody tweeted out the other day. They're like, "Why is it that a movie like Jurassic Park from 1993 looks amazing, yet something now looks like crap?" And I said, "Well, the main reason is because Jurassic Park only had 52 CGI shots. The last Jurassic Park movie had like over 3,000." Or like 2,000 some.
Yeah, it takes a long time, guys.
Exactly. They're not taking the time they used to. They're not taking the care, and these guys are obviously taking the care because look at that. That looks
absolutely.
amazing.
Doesn't that look beautiful?
Oh, beautiful.
Like even the individual staining on the teeth, you can see it here. Like that's so good.
Yeah, it's great.
And there are shades of 2014's Godzilla in there, like absolutely, you can see a little bit. But I mean that's smart. That's smart art designers. They take what works and develop it.
It reminds me a lot of the James Stokoe. He's a comic book artist that's done a series of comics on Godzilla. James Stokoe. It looks great. It just looks great.
I like what they've done with they
head.
kept the
It's a very purposeful grin.
Well,
it is that. Yeah, sure.
Well, it's almost like the head crest.
He's going to tear those high tower
That is what he's
wires
supposed
down.
to have anyway. But they've managed to work it into the design that actually like it
Godzilla.
works.
Yeah, that's very like that wasn't. Was that from the OG? I think it was a little later Godzilla that they had.
It was.
Yeah,
but it's still incorporating.
No, my favorite design for Godzilla was actually the '80s version, the '85.
Same.
Godzilla '84.
Same.
I think they've done such a good
too.
job with this. I am so hyped for this.
Yeah.
So and look at that.
That looks badass.
Yeah,
That's
that looks.
Now you get actually a good look at him there. Look at him. That looks sick. Yeah.
Look at that.
What is the -1? What do you think that's?
I don't get that. Yeah,
to?
I'm not a weeb though. So
well apparently, well, I think what it's alluding to, because it says after the war, Japan is at 0 and is going to fall to -1. So maybe it's to do with going back to the Stone Age, like they're going to obliterate civilization.
that makes sense.
See what I mean? Like after a war, they're at 0. You know, they've still got civilization, but they're at 0 because.
And Godzilla's going to make it even worse, take him back even further.
Yeah, that's a quick idea. I have no idea.
It might be like a translation of the way of saying it's kind of almost like a prequel in a weird way, like
maybe
-1, because like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I love.
I think you're probably more right, Nate.
It's so good, so good. Do we think that there'll be another kaiju that he's going to face off against, or do we think?
I kind of hope not.
Yeah, I hope it's just him.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of found refreshing about Shin Godzilla. Is like, I love when he's fighting kaijus, but it's like you sometimes just got to let Godzilla be Godzilla. He doesn't have to be in a situation where he's fighting off something else to defend us. Sometimes it's just nice to see him, destroying shit.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? Sometimes it is nice to get back to the bare bones basics of what it was, which was a cautionary tale of nuclear war. In effect, that's what it was supposed to be. Godzilla represented the atomic bomb, didn't he?
Yeah, he points out the falling of man.
Well,
I'll eventually get all the lyrics from the song in here. You just wait.
God damn. I can't wait for this. I'm super stoked. Super stoked for that. Very smart, Toho. Very, 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 very smart.